Good morning.
Good morning. Are we actually live?
We are live. Well, that's like we could take that like to be a really deep philosophical question.
No. Like, are we broadcasting? Yeah. Just because the little thing doesn't say live on my screen.
Huh, that's weird. But it does say
Well,
live on my screen, so I know that we are
okay.
live.
It counts. It counts.
That
Well,
live signal can't make it all the way to that little hole in the planet called Murphy, North Carolina.
there you go. It's a part of our overpopulation. Shitty Wi-Fi deters more people moving in. I'm the last one, so it's how we keep it's how we keep the population low. I have to tell you, I put on a jacket this morning. I'm looking at not a jacket, but like a flannel. It's about 65. No, that's not true. 58. It was 58 this morning. So it slowly creeps up and it's going up to like 89. But it's, so like in a lot of ways, it's the same that you have to like layer. But I did pull out a gauzy little scarf today just for a little extra fall feeling. We have like 3 leaves that are starting to change colors and whatnot. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to experience fall up there because fall has always been my favorite season. And like Florida, I don't care what anybody says, down here there is no such thing as fall. And yeah, and it's one of those things like it's hard to time to go visit, like to see all the changing colors and everything because it's different every year. It's dependent on the weather, and you can be all excited and go like, "Hey, I'm gonna go plan this trip for October, and the leaves might be already gone, and then you might like plan it for September, but nothing's changed yet." So
Yeah, no, I hear that, and I don't honestly like even if you have a day job, you can't give your day job notice, and if you have your own business, you can't give your customers like, oh, sorry, leaves are changing, got to run. So the only solution is to be independently wealthy, so you don't have to do any of it, and then you could just follow the seasons everywhere. So that's what I'm manifesting right now.
I love it.
If you see a little smoke, it's not any sort of otherworldly entity. It's just I've got my sage and I've got this little I don't want to pull it out because it's burning, but if you can see it, it's like a little sandalwood rope. I am loving this. Like
a sandalwood rope.
Yeah, here I'll show you a dry one. Yeah. Ooh. So I know, and then it comes in like this little twisty little rope, and you just burn it one, just one. It lasts for quite some time, and it's very potent. But it reminds me of like this Buddhist study center that I used to go to 30 years ago. Oh, now there's sandalwood everywhere. Oh. But anyway, it's just cool. It gives the house a nice little scent.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. So
that's being a fire sign. I love anything I can burn.
Onto today's topic, the go-to practice for grounding yourself. That scent is definitely one of mine. Anytime I feel like I might be, like I'm spiraling, let me just recenter, start with a little scent, and that really helps me.
Nice.
Remember one time I came to your office and I said, oh, I wish I could get these essential oils and just like plug my nose with them. And then you told me, well, there are necklaces. So I did do that for a while. I had a necklace that had like a little lava rock inside of it. And then I would drop a couple of drops of essential oils in there. So every time, I'd be like, okay, good, better. Okay, fine. That probably won't age well. That's pretending to sniff something. But anyway, I enjoyed that. So I pull it out every so often. What do you do? Well, I know you have many, but pick one because I have so many more to share.
Why is that? When I'm in it and I need to like do something instant, and like when you have nothing around, like breath is like the thing, and just um taking those deep grounding breaths, and um yeah, that is the simplest, quickest, easy way for me to ground. But like if I'm looking for something more like um like say like I'm gonna have a really heavy day and I just want like support and to be able to stay grounded and not affected by everybody else's energies. I'll use crystals, whether I'm wearing a mala or the earrings. Like I will choose root chakra crystals. So like any of the black crystals, like black tourmaline, onyx, um, jet, shungite. But the red one, red jasper. Look, I have a piece right here.
There you go.
All of that can be really helpful. But I want to share. So Sunday we had Sweat Lodge at my house again. Hi, Erin. And
good morning.
So
I'm dying to have that experience. Dying.
Yeah, it's well, the chief who runs the ceremonies and a lot of the regulars that are there, they're all Sundancers. And I'm not going to explain that whole thing right here, but Sundance is not a film festival. It is a Native American ceremony. You can Google it and find out more information about it. Super, super intense. And so all of these people are back from Sundance, just like on this energetic high from what they've experienced. And so I haven't been in Sweat Lodge for a couple months because of them being gone. And the last one that they had, I was out of town. And so, which was interesting because I allowed them to come and use the space in my backyard, even when I wasn't here. Anyway, back to the grounding story. Because of their state, the Sweat Lodge they did was like the most intense, longest sweat ever. I believe we were actually in ceremony for 3 hours, which I think normally it's more closer to 2 hours. And I'm not saying this to scare anybody, because I'm telling you, if I can do it, you can do it. But at one point I was like, there's 4, they call them 4 doors. And so the first one is just like the intention setting and introduction. And, Chief says a bunch of prayers. We sing some songs. The second round is saying prayers for others. And the third round is the healing round for yourself. And then the fourth round is gratitude. But beautiful. After the first 2 rounds, like we're going into the third round, and like I was like, yes, I'm looking forward to this. And then all of a sudden I was like, I don't know if I can make it. I was starting to feel not great. But I'm like, but this is the healing round. Like this is the one I want to be here for. And because of the intensity, some others had exited and had chosen not to sit in that round. So we had a little more space. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And so I laid down on the ground to get grounded. And like, while I was there, like when it was tough, I like literally like dug my hands into the ground and was like, Mother Earth, like, help me get through this. Like, I know with your help, I can make it. And so that's just like an extreme example of literally using the ground to be grounded and feel supported and feel cared for and nurtured. And Mother Earth is capable of all of that for us. And I just want to like drop that as a little nugget of start to get people excited about we're planning our 4 elements retreat next June in northern Georgia in the mountains, where we'll get into more into depth about the elements and how to utilize them in your daily life to make you even more goddessy than you already are.
That retreat is going to be so cool. I'm so excited about it. But I love, well, 2 things that I thought were interesting when you were talking, like, you did, I forget what you call it, door 1, door 2, door 3. And it's, for me, I find that the moment, like, I can heal others, but I can participate in healing of others. I can support others really easily, really well, no question, drop what I'm doing, do what I got to do. But when it's time for myself, all of a sudden, like, some obstacles start popping up, right? And I find that this happens a lot to people, and not just to me, but every time I would sign up for some course that was gonna, like, make me rip my guts out and face my demons, all of a sudden the day before I would get a fever. Something would happen with my car. The house, the roof would start leaking, like, just crazy things that and it's so interesting how our brains are so committed to living miserably, to living in ignorance, and I say that to myself a lot, like, man, you're really committed to this particular thought pattern or this particular ignorance, because that's really what it is. It's just refusing to learn something that was available to be learned. So
Yep.
for me, what I'm hearing is, like, that's how much more you really needed it, right? And the fact that you, like, double down and you're like, no, we're going to do this and we're going to push through it, And yes, there's plenty of space for listen to your body, right? Like, no, we never want you to feel bad. We never want you to feel sick, but certainly there is, for me, so much truth in the moment I'm on the cusp of greatness. I absolutely feel the worst ever. And for me, it shows up like 100% in my body. I have always been very connected to my gut. And I mean, everything. And if I, like, God forbid, I get into an argument with somebody in my house, all of a sudden, like, I get a tinge here in my shoulder. My hip feels a little tight. Like, I start, and you just feel it. So I just wanted to share that part. Like, hey, notice, right? Just notice that when you're on the cusp of something amazing, you might really feel like shit, and that just goes all around.
Absolutely. There's a book, I don't think anybody ever brought this up, when we used to have guests and we would ask them what book they would recommend for everybody. But there's a book called The Big Leap. Have you read it?
Of course. Yeah.
Hi, Myra. Check her out.
Hi, from Orlando. Hola. Rubia. Now you can't, she looks so Americanita lately with her blonde hair. So gorgeous.
You take the girl out of Southeast Florida and you become a gringa.
Me in a scarf, her blonde. What's going on?
We miss you too, Myra. But I do want to say, like, there are plenty, like, everybody's showing up. Check it out.
Yay.
Oh, yay, Vanessa. Yes, you're going to love the book. You're going to love the book. But we get distracted by all this.
There you go. She says, for those just listening, Erin says, I just said to Jerry this morning, you know how you can get yourself so upset that you give yourself diarrhea? No, he doesn't know. Erin, when I tell you that I feel this in my soul, okay? At one day, I'm in the car driving with my boyfriend, who's like the most chill human being you have ever met. Like, I bet he could give Jerry a run for his money. And some like that REM song comes on, Everybody Hurts, like the depression song of the 90s, right? Like, I used to, like, play that song and fall into the depths of despair. And and so I kind of looked out the window a little wistfully, a little nostalgically almost, and I said, man, I know this is going to sound messed up, but, like, do you remember that time in your life where, like, nobody understood you, and you were just like locked in your room, and it was like teen angst, and and I look at my boyfriend and he looks at me and he's like, what the fuck is angst? Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm like, like your teen years, right? When like your parents didn't understand you, and like, you whatever, like just stuff. And he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I said, well, how was your teenage experience? He's like, it was great. I partied, I had fun. We drove on the beach and drank beer and had a good time. And I was, like, it literally blew my mind that angst doesn't have to be part of your teenage years. So yeah, apparently there are people that don't make themselves sick with worry. I laugh with my sister because I'm like, oops, my trauma's showing. Sorry. But okay. And I'm sorry, Erin. All I can tell you is that history has proven that we do get to the other side. There's nothing that a good Tori Amos, REM, Pearl Jam can't cure.
But I do want to go back to The Big Leap. I think the author is Gail Hendricks or whatever, but the whole theme of the book is about how, like we sabotage our moving forward in our life by these stupid things. It's like, people even use like, I got in a car accident. How, like, how that was the cause, not me. And it's like, once you understand that you manifest everything that happens in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, the wonderful, like you manifest it all. Like, yes, you do manifest like that car accident that comes along that stops you from getting to that job interview that would have been your dream job and like, pushed you to the next level. It's the book does a way better job of explaining it than I do. But if you notice that, like you get sick before important things or just whatever, 100%. Again, like I said, I was sitting there ready for the healing round for me. And I was like starting to be like, I don't know if I can take this anymore. I don't, this heat is intense and I don't feel so good. And I'm not that young anymore. Like, can I really push through this? And I chose me. I literally dug my claws into the ground, and I am so grateful that I did. Like, and I'm not going to lie, like I've been emotional since that. Like I'm releasing a lot since going through that experience. And so there's really important lessons about choosing yourself. And especially, like you said, it's easy to show up for other people. And we all, like, we want to show up for people. That's what I do all day, every day.
Right. I love it. I love doing it. Yeah.
But for us to be able to continue to do that, we have to choose ourselves. We have to do the work for ourselves. I mean, it's both choosing to do the difficult things, choosing to do the work on ourselves, and it's also choosing, self-care and self-love. And, we've got this retreat coming up, not this weekend, but the next. And like people are like creating all kinds of excuses not to choose them to come to this retreat. And like, if you're listening and you've been thinking about it and you haven't pulled the trigger yet, it's not too late. You can still do it. But I really, really, really want you to choose you. Because once you choose you, we choose you, and we will do everything to support you. And I see we have one more comment.
And let's see.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. As women, we are very, and if anybody can't read that, Vanessa wrote in that she felt this 3 months with her cycle. And so far, pivotal moments and shifts have been happening around her cycle. And it's a huge release. And, that's a big thing. With,
like it, right? Lean into that. Like, you don't have to doll it up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, your body is telling you slow down for a reason. Your body is telling you, what is it? Be demure, be mindful. Like, let's do this in a way that goes with the flow of our bodies and not against the flow of our bodies. And just I really think this retreat is going to be really cool. And like I told one of my beautiful friends who I love so much, like, listen, I'm getting on a plane. I am leaving my sanctuary. I am driving hours and hours and hours to come do this. You can take a couple of days out of your life. I promise you, everybody's going to be okay. You know, I had a hard time leaving my kids when they were little, when I went to go do a bunch of personal development work. And I'll never forget Corinne Becker, my friend. I love her so much. As a matter of fact, I think today's her birthday. So happy birthday, Corinne. She, you know, one day I said, yeah, but you don't understand. If I leave for 4 days to go do this training, you know, I got to inconvenience my 2 kids, my boyfriend, my mother, the people at the school. Like, I got to let so many people know and they all have to cover me. And she looked at me and she's like, wow, you must be really important. And I was like, oh my God, she called me out. Like, Corinne is so good at being like, hello, wake up, you know. And guess what? And I was able to find coverage, and all of my friends and family were supportive. And yeah, I am important because it did take 5 people to cover for me. But you know what? They all did it and they all lived and it was all fine. And I absolutely became a better person because of it. But before we go too long, Myra, amen. We have to listen to our body and feed our mind with meaningful energy. Just do it. Thank you. You're so, yeah, absolutely. All right. So I'm going to share a little, my extreme grounding practice that I have fallen into lately. So, you know me, I'm an absolute victim of the Facebook algorithm. If Facebook shows it to me, it has been honing and listening to me, and I love it so much. I have found a lot of really cool things out there in the world because I absolutely buy whatever Facebook shows me. I fucking love it. Anyway, so Facebook showed me a Shakti mat. Have you seen that? So the Shakti mat is, I'm going to hold you up like a little sample of it. Like, you see these little spikes. So it's a whole mat that you lay on, and it's like, I make it akin to like the bed of nails that you used to see in the movies, you know, and stuff like that. Let me tell you. So like, I don't know if it's menopause. I don't know if it's whatever I got going on in my brain, the moon, the lights, I don't know. But like, I usually sleep like a rock. And the last week, I haven't been able to sleep so well, which is not normal for me. Oh my God, Aaron, let me tell you, when I lay down on this thing, first of all, it's like a hurt so good kind of a feeling. I'm going to put it back up because I see we have a few more viewers, but so this is actually like supposed to go here, but I just want to show you like a sample of it. That mat,
crown of thorns.
totally. But that mat, when I tell you that it has changed my life, I laid on it last night. People, like, when you touch this with your hands, you're like, there's no way I'm going to be able to lay on that. I have laid on that probably for a good like 30, 40 minutes. When I tell you that I had the deepest sleep of my life, absolutely amazing. And it comes with an app which has like a really cool meditation, a different meditation for each day. They talk you through breathing, but honestly, the pain of it goes away in the first, like, I don't even, it to me, it is not painful at all. It is stimulating for sure. But after a minute, everything just kind of goes numb. And honestly, I have fallen asleep on it multiple times, but I absolutely love it. So Facebook, thank you. Thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, for listening to me complain and giving me a good answer. The algorithm is on point. I love it so much. It looks crazy, but I love it.
You know what I love so much today? We have had, I think, the most live viewers ever, and all the interaction from our viewers. Like, this is what we want. This is what we hope for. And, you know, to know that someone's actually interested in listening. Because I tell you this all the time. Like, people tell me, like, you need to write a book, or, you know, I tell people I watch Gaia and they're like, you should be on Gaia. And I'm like, who's going to listen to me? And like, when I'm writing my newsletters or when I'm showing up here and no one shows up and listens, and I'm left wondering, has anyone actually read my emails? Like, people are responding now, and it's like I don't do it for the response, but the response is what helps us keep going and knowing that people are actually listening and paying attention. And it means the world that you're out there listening to us. So
absolutely. Thank you guys so much. And even if you watch it later, like just drop a comment, even if it's just a little thumbs up,
yeah, because we do see
yeah,
those too. It does show up, and we appreciate all of that.
totally. Yay. And little hearts. Thank you, Vanessa. I accept little hearts. Well,
Oh,
I hope that all of these grounding practices are helpful. And if you have some, please put them in the comments. I'm absolutely one of the most out there people. I am certain of it. I have to ground a gajillion times a day. So my toolbox is pretty big. And speaking of toolboxes, stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed to all the newsletter stuff. I've had some time in the mountains, some time to breathe air. So we've got some stuff that we've been cooking, and we'll start releasing all of these little exciting things in the next couple of weeks. So definitely stay tuned. It's about to get real good too.
yeah.
Thank you, Myra. Love you guys so much. Appreciate you all so much.
All right. Is that a wrap?
I think that's a wrap. We keep
All
saying
right.
this is going to be a 5-minute conversation, but who are we kidding?
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And I want to wish you a magical day.
Hi.